Back to Baddie and a Book. My name is Gabby and let's vlog. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to attempt to pull an all-nighter while reading the next Colleen Hoover books that are on my TBR. So we have Verity that I'm gonna start with. And then I also been wanting to read Regretting You, so I want to start with this one as well. Or this will be my second one that I read. And then we're gonna finish it off with arguably from BookTube, the most underrated book, and that is Hopeless. A lot of people that I've read it said that this book was really good and it's not really talked about that much. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Editing Gabby here. I wanted to come in really quick and give a disclaimer about, I would consider these soft spoilers, not actual spoilers, but they could still take away from your experience from reading Verity specifically if you haven't read Verity just yet. I don't give away any major plot points. I try to cut out as much rambling about like my thoughts, because if you've read Verity, you know that Verity gets you all over the place. Like, it takes you in so many different directions emotion-wise, and that was very, 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 very visible when I was reading the book and recording my responses in real time. So if you have not read it, I'm not going to give any major spoilers away, but it could take away my reactions, the little things that I touch on. It could take away from your experience of reading it yourself if you haven't read it already. So if you're not wanting to be spoiled in any way, shape, or form, then I would maybe not watch this one until after you've read Verity. If you're okay with getting real-time reactions, no major plot line spoilers, then feel free to keep watching. I didn't want to cut this out of the video because it was such a, I wanted you guys to see my real and raw reaction as I'm reading the book and my thoughts throughout the book. So yeah, let's get back to the vlog. Already kind of starting a little bit late, but fuck it, why not? I'm gonna start with the first book here, which is Verity. The reason why I picked Colleen Hoover for this vlog is because I tend to read her books really, really, really quickly. So I'm hoping that with using that as a strategy, I can read them as quickly as possible by reading Colleen Hoover books. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the first one. All right, so it is 6:30 p.m. I am going to go ahead and pick up Verity, or continue reading Verity, I should say. I've already started to read this book. I'm on chapter 12 currently. So it's like roughly like the 50% mark. We are officially starting this staying up all night, pulling an all-nighter to read Colleen Hoover books. So we'll see how this goes. One thing about me, I love my sleep. So I'm sacrificing my sleep for this video, for y'all. So that's if I can stay up all night. So my guess or my prediction is that I will probably be able to stay up until around 4 o'clock, 4:30 at the absolute latest. And I predict around that time is when I'm gonna get tired. Let's just get to it. I'm at like the 50% mark, so I wanted to like quickly talk about this, but I really don't like how Lowen is like low-key into, not low-key, well, it is low-key according to them, but it's high-key, right? We know it's high-key. Interested in a married man. That's for one. For fucking two, right? Bro, I'm on chapter 12, right? She already assumed at some point that Verity was a sociopath, right? So why the fuck are you messing with her husband? We already know that there's some sort of suspicion, right? We already know that. So, Lowen, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you have any type of suspicion, right, that this woman could still be alive or that she could see you. Well, technically she is alive, but like she's just kind of like non-responsive, like she's not able to speak or anything like that. Like she just seems like really unresponsive. But like, one, out of respect, but then two, the smart thing to do would be to just be there for what you're there for, which is working, and to fucking write the novels that you're getting paid $500,000 to do. Honey, Verity's gonna wake up and kill Like, that's where I'm at right now. Like, my first thought was, one, honey, you're wrong for trying to go after a married man. Like, he's married. His wife is upstairs. Have some respect. Show some fucking respect. Secondly, I'm like, you're dealing with a potential psychopath. Actually, it's alleged at this point because we don't know for sure, right? It is alleged that she is a psychopath. And yet, you're still... And, like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the way that Colleen Hoover writes it. It's almost like, oh, my God, I like him, but I shouldn't. Oh, my God, I like him. No, bitch. No. No. He is taken. He is taken. Like, bro, I'm very passionate about stuff like this. But yes, Verity gonna wake up and whoop your ass. She gonna wake up and you're gonna get these hands. They're gonna be ready to eat for everybody. And I already think the pot is brewing at this point. I'm ranting. It's 5 minutes in and I'm ranting. 50% of the way. Those are my thoughts so far. This book is kind of all over the place, so that explains why my thoughts are all over the place. But my biggest thing is that, bro. Anyways, I'll check back in a little bit. We're gonna check back in a little bit. And then she gonna put his shirt on. She's weird. She's fucking weird. I don't care what anybody says. She's weird. You're putting a man's shirt on that you're attracted to. That is, I just can't get past this. I cannot get past this. I do not like this main character for this reason alone. Like, what? Lowen, what? Ugh. Oh my gosh. Now, I just want to say, I don't think that Verity is innocent at all by any fucking means. Like, she's got her own whole set of issues, right? So when I'm talking about Lowen, I am not dismissing Verity by any means. I just wanted to get that disclaimer because let's not get it twisted, okay? They both are a little bit... Like, I'm sorry, what? What? And then the end of chapter 12. Girl... What are you're in her house. You're writing her book series. Have some respect. Oh my God. I can't get with it. I can't get with it. I can't. I really hope and pray that they don't end up doing the do. They don't end up, nope. I really hope. But I have a feeling that Miss Colleen Hoover had some plans. So I guess we're gonna find out. That was all that was all for one chapter. Like, this shit is getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand. Really fucking bad feeling, but we'll see. So I am on chapter 16, but it's not really chapter 16 because Verity's autobiography is actually like meshed in or merged into the chapter. So I don't know what chapter I'm on, but I'm on 16 of the actual book itself, not on the autobiography. I thought it would be only appropriate to pop some popcorn because it's getting good. I'm tired. So I'm on page 212, a little bit further along, and Lowen, she's talking about how she doesn't understand him, like, or she understands him giving up huge parts of himself to care for the woman that is just really a shell, according to them. I still think she's alive and well, and that she's gonna come through and she's gonna beat that ass. But but she's talking about how I'm just going to read what she says. So she says, but is this how he's going to spend the rest of his life, giving up huge parts of himself to care for a woman who is just a shell of the person he married? I understand he made vows, but at what cost? His entire life? People get married assuming they'll live long, happy lives together. What happens when one of those is cut short, but the other is expected to live out those vows for the rest of their life? Question mark. Honey, who are you to speak on this? What would you know about someone keeping their vows? She is still alive, honey. Girl, bye. No, we don't do that here. There is something oh so cringy about her saying, I'm desperate for him, and the whole time he's married. Girl. And they just kissed. Mind you, they're in the fucking living room. His wife is upstairs. Oh my God. I'm low-key kind of scared. That's what she gets, though. That's what the fuck she gets. Because, like, how disrespectful can you be? Him, too. Him. How disrespectful can he be? No. She gonna be that ass. I'm gonna say, she's crazy. She's crazy. Why are you doing that? Horrible. Horrible. That's what she gets, though. What the hell? She's acting out of pocket now. She's asking for anything that comes her way. Bro. She called her a CUNT. Then she said she pulled a Tupac. But instead she said, I'm gonna fuck your husband. Bro, she's asking for whatever comes her way. No one's safe. No one's safe. That is all that I have to say about that. Because let's talk shit. I don't know. I'm conflicted. That's crazy. This shit is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so clearly Verity's not a great person, right? But I don't know how I would feel messing around with this man in the same bed that he messed around with his wife. Like, there's so many... My stance has changed now that I'm closer to the end of the book. I would say right now I'm probably about 75% of the way in. Maybe closer to that point. But my stance has changed only under the circumstance that she does know more information about Verity. The thing is, he doesn't, so it's a little off-putting in that sense. But you know, clearly, like I said, Verity's not a good person. But like, both of y'all don't even get in the bed. Y'all don't even get like nothing. Like, you're literally laying and in the bed that him and Verity also, like, it's a no for me. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Bro. What the heck? I'm on page 263, so literally I have like 50 pages left. This shit is crazy. But at this point it was expected, because at least up until now, I'm on chapter 20. It was expected at this point because we all know Verity's crazy. So Continue. He's about to leave her home alone with Verity. He's about to get her ass beat. Oh my gosh. He literally is about to leave her home with Verity alone. Bro, I can't. I cannot. I hope this isn't going where I think it's going. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I don't like where this is going. Oh no. She's either... Oh my gosh. Miss Colleen Hoover. See, now I don't know what to believe anymore. Like, what? What? What is going on? Okay, we are on the last chapter. I'm so confused. Bro, what? This book is a trip. All right, so it is now 10:30 and I just finished this book. So now we're going to move on to the second book, which is Regretting You. Oh, Regretting You. And I'm really excited. As expected, the first book, I flew through it. So that was kind of the goal, kind of the idea behind reading Colleen Hoover. So far, so good. I think I'm gonna make myself a snack because I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. But yeah, next book, Regretting You. So I'm not gonna lie, I did get distracted on my phone for a little while. So now it is 12:20. I'm still on page 8. We're just getting started. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this book hopefully by like 4 or 5. And like I said, game plan is at 4 or 5, picking up Hopeless and completing my staying up all night challenge. I don't know how well this is gonna go because I have a feeling, like I said earlier, that I'm gonna get tired around like 4:30. I think I would be able to stay up till like 4:30 just because that's like kind of a norm for me. Like sometimes I go to bed between 3 and 4, sometimes it's 1 and 2, but like I have no problems like staying up and like rummaging through my phone until 4 o'clock. So far so good. I mean, Colleen Hoover, she has a thing about kind of hooking you into the story immediately. Like she doesn't waste no time. At least from now, this will be the 7th book that I'm reading by her. And then Hopeless would be the 8th. So far so good. We've already got something that's like, whoa, what's going on? It may be something that is reflected on the back of the book, like it may be something that's in the synopsis, but I did not read the synopsis before going into this one. Luckily, I have no idea what this one is about. So I'm going into this book completely blind. But yeah, I am enjoying it for the first 8 pages. All right. Okay, so I am assuming, I just got to chapter 2, and I am assuming that this is a mother-daughter book, I'm assuming. And I also assume that maybe I am kind of cheating here by looking. Just by glimpsing, it doesn't look like it goes back and forth between past and present, but I will say the book started out in the past and now we're going into the present. This is where I assume the rest of the book will take place. So I find that to be very interesting. Chapter 2, here we go. Okay, so I'm still like pretty like new into the book. I haven't made much progress, but I am sensing some forbidden romance for 2 characters in this book so far. So far it's giving very forbidden romance heavy in this book is all I can really say without spoiling it. So we shall see how this goes. Okay, so just wanted to do a quick check-in. We have changed locations. I showered, I ate. It is 2:30 in the morning right now. I am on chapter 4. I keep getting distracted. Like, I'll pick up the book and then I think because I was sitting in the same spot for so long, and I can do that. Like when I'm heavy into a book, like already like thick into the book, I can definitely sit and like get through it no problems. But because now I'm starting a new book, and it's like at the beginning, you know, nothing has really like started to happen just yet. I haven't invested enough in reading it yet to get to that part of the book where things are really happening, which is why I appreciate Colleen Hoover, because I think if I was reading another author that was maybe a little bit slower in the beginning, like I was saying before, Colleen Hoover has a way of like kind of getting you hooked in like the first couple of sentences, and she gets right to the point. Like, she don't play no games. So I think if I was reading any other author, like a slow burn or just an author that did a little bit more detail giving in the beginning, I feel like this wouldn't be as easy for me to keep picking it up. But especially with it being so late now. I did drink a cup of tea, so hopefully that will at least kind of keep me awake for a little bit longer and prolong it. I am starting to get a little tired, like my eyes are starting to fall just a little bit, but I'm thinking that's just because it's late. So far so good as far as the characters goes. We're still kind of introducing everybody, still trying to get to know everybody, which I like. I like that it's dual POV, so it is a dual POV mother and daughter story of some sort. There seems to be, like I said, a little bit of forbidden romance that's going on here. Maybe potentially second chance, but not really. I think it's more so forbidden than anything else, potentially, depending on where the story goes. That just escalated so quickly. I just got to chapter 6. That escalated so quickly. Like, damn, that just went way left, and we're only 6 chapters in. Boy. Good morning. I didn't even make it to 4 o'clock last night. Like, I'm pretty sure I am still on. I'm in the middle of chapter 6 is where I made it to. And then for me, like, as much as I would have loved staying up, I would hate to like continue reading after the point of being tired and not retain any of the information in the book. So I decided to just go to sleep. So this was a failed attempt to read overnight, finishing my Colleen Hoover books that I have on my TBR. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish both books anyways. I'm gonna take the rest of today to finish Regretting You and then also finish Hopeless as planned. And we're still gonna complete this vlog, even though the staying up all night, the pulling the all-nighter was a fail. But first, book content. That's exactly why I don't read when I'm tired, because I'm on chapter 6 and I was like a couple pages in, but like I was so confused. So I went back to read and I'm trying to figure out where I missed that gap, because it's not making sense. I was still confused for a second, but now I understand. It clicked. Okay, so check-in 1 on Regretting You. I'm about a third of the way through, and again, so far so good. I'm going through it quite quickly. I'm on page 119, which is chapter 11. I am about 50% right now of the way through, a little over 50% of the way through. You know how disrespectful you gotta be? They were so comfortable with however long this thing was going on between them two. That's the part that gets me. That's the part that kind of like irritates me about them too. Like, I'm sorry for their passing, but the timing is always right. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. If these weren't fictional characters, then that wouldn't be a joke. But I'm joking. I'm just joking. Okay. How disrespectful do you have to be to do that? That is like the utmost disrespect. It would be different if like they were keeping it on the low and then that they weren't even bringing it to discussion in front of their people. It would obviously be a messy ass situation if they were to let the cat out of the bag, but like, bro, that is so disrespectful. Like, if you go on disrespectful, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest and move with your chest, because they clearly weren't scared of getting caught. That's my thing. Like, they clearly were not scared of getting caught. They clearly were not scared of, they were so comfortable in whatever that situation was that they were willing to talk about it, not only in front of their significant others, but also in front of the children as well. Make it make sense. Make it make the fuck sense. And how long were they going to have this going on without saying anything? How long has this been going on? You've got to be the most disrespectful person to do that to the people that you love. You're gonna hurt them regardless, right? You're gonna hurt them regardless. But like, for you to do it in a grimy ass way like that, honey, I have my sympathy for and my empathy for those two characters are getting less and less and less and less the more we find out in the story. But anyways, that's my little rant. We're gonna continue reading, see how this goes. Yeah, we're gonna just see how it goes. So I'm a little bit further in. I wanted to make another little note here. One thing I can't stand, oh my, look at this little hairpiece. Like, what is this? But another thing that I'm really like irritated about, not irritated, but like, come on now, like about, is the fact that she won't just be honest with her daughter. Not to mention, transparency goes a long way. Clara's 16 years old? Yeah, 16. Clara's 16 years old. She's old enough to understand whether Morgan thinks she is or not. She is. So I wish that she would just open up and tell her, because the longer she keeps this from her, the more damaging as it's going to be when it comes out, because the truth always comes to the surface. It always does, every single time. So the fact that she keeps doing this to try to protect her, I think is bullshit. I think that she's trying to protect herself from having to deal with the cat getting out of the bag, opening a can of worms, and not really knowing how to navigate the situation, because I can understand it being a tough situation to navigate, but just tell her she's old enough to understand. If she's old enough to date and she's old enough to figure out what she wants to do for her life in terms of like working and all of this, she's old enough to drive, she is old enough to understand, not even understand, but she's old enough to have the respect to have the truth be told to her rather than keeping her in the dark. So that's just my opinion. Okay, so another quick check-in. I'm on page 295, so I'm almost done. Like, I literally have like that much left. In my opinion, Morgan gives off kind of like childish vibes in a way, just like the way that she goes about certain things, I should say, it makes her kind of childish for a 35-year-old woman. Like, I understand she's grieving, I understand that she's got a lot on her plate. There's a lot of stuff that changed literally in a matter of like 2 months. Like, there's just been so much that has a lot. I don't even know how I would deal with it, but like, she just seems kind of childish in my opinion. Don't hate me. Okay, so I'm on chapter 37. I literally have 2 more chapters to go, but at this point, like, I'm just gonna try to finish it I don't really care about what's happening at this moment, like as bad as that sounds. Not to say I don't care, but like I feel like I'm already satisfied with what's happened so far, that I don't know what else could possibly wrap up the story, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and just like push through this, even though I'm like kind of uninterested at this point. Just so I can say that I finished it. Maybe there will be something in these last 2 chapters that will kind of ring me back in, but at this point I'm like, okay, we're done. Like after chapter 36, it kind of, everything kind of settled for me, so I don't know what else could need to be settled at this point, but I guess we shall find out. Okay, so JK. Okay, so I take back what I said, because there was one component of the story that I completely forgot about up until now. So I'm glad that there are 2 chapters left. No! Like, there's still so many unanswered questions. And maybe Colleen Hoover is doing that on purpose, but bro, I can't believe she did that. Oh my gosh, I totally changed my mind. This last chapter, so fucking worth it. So fucking worth it. So fucking worth it. We finally finished this. And I haven't been giving ratings for the books yet, because I'm gonna wait till the end to do that. But on to the next. I have no idea what happened to the footage of Hopeless. To be honest, I don't even remember actually filming it. So either I didn't film it or I lost the clips of it. So instead, we're gonna jump directly to my final thoughts. Okay, so here are my final thoughts. Verity, I ended up giving Verity a 4.5 star. It wasn't quite a 5 for me. It was still really, really good. It was really entertaining as always. It was in one sitting, only because I was doing the staying up all night to finish my Colleen Hoover books that are on my TBR. But regardless, whether I was doing it for this video or I was doing it just to read it in general, it would have been a one hit where I would read it in one sitting. So I'm not surprised by that. There were some parts that were predictable. There were also some parts that weren't predictable in the twists and turns. So I really enjoyed that. I'm not sure if you love thrillers, and if thrillers is like your cup of tea, I'm not sure if this would live up to your expectations, because it is vibing on the thriller side, but it's not quite up to par, at least with some of the thrillers that I've read so far. It's not quite in that category. Like, it's still thriller, but make it Colleen Hoover, if that makes sense. Her kind of vibe, her-esque. So if that's something that you're interested in, I definitely would recommend this. The other thing too is that if you are a Colleen Hoover reader, or a Colleen Hoover, Emily Henry, Kennedy Ryan reader, and you're kind of considering dipping your toes into the thriller category, this would definitely be a good start in that category. Just because, like I said, it's not, I don't know if it would be like a super thriller, if that makes sense. The biggest thing that made me make it a 4.5, and I think probably the biggest thing that turned me off from this book, was the fact that the main character is kind of like low-key filling the husband in this story. As you know, Lowen is in the story. Lowen is writing Verity's books, and that's not a spoiler because it is on the back, but she's been selected to write the remaining of a series that Verity has already started. And as a result of that, she ends up connecting, I'm not gonna say how, but she ends up connecting with the husband in order to do that. With that being said, I just don't really vibe with that at all. I don't vibe with that. Y'all saw in the actual vlog portion itself how much it was like nauseating in my stomach to read that. Like, what? Like, gross? Like, no. But overall, really good read. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for a fast-paced, quick, easy, digestible read. This is definitely a good pick. Regretting You. This one I ended up giving a 4-star. This one is a mother-daughter kind of story. There is kind of some romance in here, but like kind of not really. This one is dual POV, so we do get both the mother and the daughter's perspective throughout the book, which I thought was very interesting. We do also get small glimpses of the past in this book throughout the book. So it's not quite a formats of going back and forth between past and present, but you do get a little glimpses of the past to kind of connect to the present, if that makes any sense. Morgan, the one thing for me that kind of I didn't really love so much, and I don't know if Colleen Hoover did this to kind of keep us reading, but the stalling of her telling Clara what's going on. So her not being fully transparent and kind of downplaying Clara's ability to take information, take the hurtful truth or the brutal truth, the blunt truth, all of that. I didn't really love that portion of this book because I was just like, yo, literally just tell her. Like, she's 16 years old. She's old enough to understand things. You don't have to keep hiding things from her. But I think that those are the only things that I really didn't like about this book. Other than that, again, a really quick, digestible read, something that, you know, I read in one sitting. Like I said, I read it for this all-nighter, so I had no choice. But I feel like this one was a really easy pick for that, because even if I had read this book in a separate occurrence, I would have still read it in one sitting. If you like a mother-daughter family dysfunction kind of vibe, I think you would really like this book. It is not my favorite of hers, but it's still a really good pick. And then the best for fucking last, Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. So not only did I read this book last, but I also saved it for last to speak on because of the fact that this one was hands down, and it is hands down my favorite Colleen Hoover book. 5 stars across the board. I loved Holder and what was the girl's name? Sky. I'm so bad with names, but I loved their relationship. This was easily a 5-star read for me. It was so damn good. I'm so excited to pick up Losing Hope, which is Holder's perspective. His name is Dean Holder, but he goes by Holder in the book. And honestly, I really want to reread this at some point. So I think I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to eventually get Losing Hope, and I hope that I can get it in the similar cover, because even though most of the time I don't like having the people on the covers, I actually low-key kind of like this one. And I kind of like this one better than the current covers that are being published. But yeah, this book is so damn good. Like, I cannot put this book down. Out of all the books that I've read so far, this one and Reminders of Him are like top tier for me. I'm gonna hold my breath and not say that this one blew my mind or like took my breath away, but low-key. Not to mention, when certain moments and certain components of their past are brought to light, it was such an emotional roller coaster for me. Like, that's the best way for me to put it. Just read this book. Just read it. Just read it. So yeah, that is the end. We reached the end, and I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I don't think I'll be doing this very often because I like my sleep. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.